Welcome back to the Alien Spaceship Talk Show podcast. And in case you're just joining us, you're listening to the Alien Spaceship Talk Show podcast with Emmy, Hikins, and Trevor.
Metal that goes into steel making would be in our bodies. Another one is chromium. You know, we see chrome on cars sometimes, don't we? And that is, again, a very hard metal, and that is generally used for, just trying to think what that one's used for. Yeah, it sort of regulates blood sugar. It helps the insulin production. So, again, very vital parts of making a human being. Okay, so that's where we are. Six of these gases, chemicals, making up the vast majority of our body. Yeah. Now, the strange thing about it all is that they then try to cost what these things would cost. How much would it cost to make Benedict Cumberbatch? Now, they said the oxygen would be about £9 to fill the body. They said the hydrogen about £10. The nitrogen, I think they said, was £1, but then it gets a bit more expensive. So I don't know how this will, it doesn't equate at all with the American version of it or what the biology teacher said. The carbon, there's £30 worth, that's weight, so just over 2 stones of carbon in us, and that will cost about £44,000. These were figures from 2013. Now, the remaining ones, calcium, potassium, phosphorus, another £47,000. So what they ultimately found was that to build Benedict Cumberbatch, or a replica of him, would cost about £97,000. So what do you make of that? Do you think that is reasonable to build a replica human being?
I think I have questions.
I thought you might have a question. Ask me a question. Go on.
Now, did we mention water as one of the chemicals or one of the components?
Yeah. Which one?
Did we mention water? Is water one of it?
Well, no. It becomes one, doesn't it? Because you've got the 60% of oxygen, 10% of hydrogen, and together they make up a lot of water. And in the same way, we know the brain is made up of 70% of water. So that 70% of the brain is part of the 71% of water that fills our bodies. So that again gives us weight because, as we say, water is a heavy substance. So water is there, definitely, yeah.
And then the next question I have is, why isn't acid one of the chemicals? Is acid not a chemical?
You know, the acid is a product really of a chemical, isn't it, really? Now, of course, we get acid made within our bodies. You know, I mean, they say, don't they, acid reflux and things like that don't get properly digested. So we do have acids within us. I don't honestly know whether one of the 53 very tiny amounts of chemical components is an acid. I don't know. The acid is certainly there within us.
All right. Okay.
But well, just to sort of good questions. But what we come to the point you probably felt right at the beginning, because you used the word artificial. The fact is, however clever somebody may be in putting together, however carefully you get the components, that whoever you ask to put it all together and build this human being, you'd only get so far, for the simple reason that nobody can make a single living cell. Of course, the cell is the thing of life, isn't it? So, you know, they call it the God components or something like that. But we can create a human being to make it look like a replica of a human being, Benedict Cumberbatch or anybody else. But we cannot actually create the cell that gives life. You can ask the brainiest people, past or present, they simply cannot do that. Whether they will ever be able to come up with a form of life, I mean, I think I've read in fairly recent times that they feel they're getting close to creating a sort of artificial cell which could start to think for itself. And we know there's artificial intelligence. Now, we don't know how that will develop in years to come, but at the moment they cannot they cannot make a single living cell, the cells that make us what we are. And therefore, it's incredible to think. I mean, quite an interesting study that was done in Cambridge in 2013. But when you think that all of the chemicals that are needed and are within us, you can find really in a pile of dirt. You could pick up a scoop of dirt from a garden or from a flower box, and you've likely got all of the chemicals that you've got in a human body, which is quite an incredible thing, because when you think about it, the only special thing about that handful of dirt is that it makes us. These components actually make us. The stuff of life, albeit without that magic of the single cell, and that is.
We're going to take a short break now. We're back shortly. You've been listening to the Alien Spaceship Talk Show with Trevor Gear and Emmy Hikins. The Alien Spaceship Talk Show podcast is looking for sponsors. If you're a company out there looking to spread the word about the products and services you provide, please get in touch with Deepstuff Radio Podcast on info@deepstuffrecords.com, or to use the contact form on our website to contact us, please visit radio.deepstuffrecords.com. Also, if you're looking to get involved on the Alien Spaceship Talk Show podcast, reach out via our Deepstuff Radio Facebook page. Thank you.